Hi guys, welcome to The Talking Point, episode 2. This is our Spurs episode, led by Nathan Leake. Yeah, let's get into it. Nathan, take the floor.
Yes. Right. Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks at Tottenham, to say the least. I mean, I was good initially when we planned this podcast. I was going to be like venting. I was furious because we'd just lost to Everton. We didn't really produce anything of note. And in the week since, we've signed Gareth Bale, we've signed Reguilon. There's rumours of us signing a striker, and we've beaten Southampton 5-2 with Son scoring 4, Kane getting 4 assists.
And just to butt in there, did you see what I sent you a minute ago about you being in you've open talks with Skriniar?
Yeah, that was a while ago, and the club's not looking to get rid of him. It's not going to happen because the club doesn't want to get rid of Ndombele because we've paid 60-odd million euros for him. And I don't think Tottenham's the kind of club to be, discarding a player of that fee after one season.
You think?
Especially a man like Daniel Levy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's played well this season from what I've seen. He played well in Europa League, played well against Southampton this season.
Yeah, he had a decent half against Southampton. He got the wheels in motion for the equaliser.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the more positive players against Plovdiv. I mean, before he came on, it was just shocking. It was absolutely awful. It was like watching a Sunday League team at Wanstead Flats.
Oh, you're welcome to my life, but we won't get into that today. But yeah, all right, go on. So you going back to your signings. Obviously, when we first kind of spoke about this episode, which was about 2 weeks ago, and we've been planning this episode really.
Yeah.
We kind of wanted to give it a bit more time, and as we record, there's just ticking to 12 days left of the transfer window, so not a lot of time. Before we go into who you have signed, do you think there'll be any more ins or outs at Spurs, or do you think this is it? You're closed?
No, there will be more to come in and more to go. I see Danny Rose leaving.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because he was a good servant for the club for about 12 years. But at the same time, football is a business. We need to move on. Yeah. And 3 into 2 don't mix. 4 into 2 don't mix because we've got 4 left backs at the minute. We've got Davis, Reguilon, youngster called Kirakan, and obviously Danny Rose himself. So we need to lighten the squad and build up funds. I can see Juan Foyth going out on loan. Ideally, I would have played him as CDM at some point last season just to see what it would work out because he's technically quite good. He's good defensively, but not strong enough to be a central defender. But I think that sale was passed. So maybe on loan to somebody like Leeds.
Yeah, that's a shout.
For a season.
Bielsa will do him some good, won't he?
Yep, Argentinians linking up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all right, going back to, you mentioned Gareth Bale with a big smile on your face, didn't you?
Yes. I still can't believe it's happened. We've been linked with him pretty much every single transfer window for the last 4 or 5 seasons. And every single time we're like, nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Real Madrid won't let him go, and obviously it's happened.
Yeah, and obviously we've been talking. It's been what? It's been about a week now, isn't it? Really, we've known it's going to happen. And we've spoken about this like off camera, haven't we? And we've had very mixed opinions about it. But you think he's going to do well this season?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, he will be going out with a point to prove because he was essentially sidelined for a season at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Zidane didn't want to know. Madrid fans didn't want to know. So he's going to want to go out there and go, you know what? I can still perform. And I think he will. It will take him a little while to, get fit again. But once he's firing, that front three of Kane, Son and Bale will just be lethal.
Oh, yeah, no, it does look good, doesn't it? On paper, it does look one of the more exciting attacks in the league. Obviously, he's not going to score as many as Greenwood, Rashford and Martial, but we'll keep that for another time. But yeah, no, do you think, how many goals and assists do you think he'll top it? Do you think he'll be up there challenging for Golden Boot and Golden Assist, whatever it's called? I don't know.
Probably not. But no, I don't think he'll be challenging for Golden Boot. Assists well, it's going to be hard to topple De Bruyne or Bruno Fernandes as well.
Yeah,
or Kane at this point.
Yeah, well,
4
Kane's
assists
just gone
on the
and got
weekend.
4 assists at the weekend. Yeah.
Yep, the fourth one for Son was unbelievable. It was a brilliant ball.
Oh, I've still
Looked
not even seen
once.
the highlights.
Pretty much the ball was over on the right-hand touchline. Kane was played through, glanced over once, saw where the defender was, saw where Son was running, and then just curled a brilliant ball in behind the defence for Son to run onto.
I mean,
it was one of those that if Kevin De Bruyne did it or Jordan Henderson did it, everybody would be going on about it for the rest of the season, pretty much going, he's going to be PFA Player of the Year, he's going to be in with a shout, the Ballon d'Or, blah, 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 blah. But because it's Kane, nothing.
Yeah, and I think Kane, I don't know, I think this is make or break for Kane this season at Tottenham. I did back you in last video to win Europa League. I'm going to stick to my guns, especially with the signing of Gareth Bale. Me, on the other hand, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think you could have spent that money better elsewhere, like an Ismail Assar or someone, considering the fees you're going to pay in wages and loan fees, etc., and maybe potential signing of the player next summer.
Apparently, there isn't a loan fee.
Oh, I mean, I heard it was a couple of million, but we'll never know for sure, will we? But
yeah, it's all paper talk.
Yeah, but I just think maybe an Ismail Assar or someone of who he's going to be good. But yeah, I can see why you've done the Gareth Bale thing. What is it? What's the stat I heard? You've made 27 signings since Gareth Bale left to replace Gareth Bale, and you've now replaced him with Gareth Bale.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Mm.
Like especially Pochettino's first couple of seasons, we made some horrible signings.
Mm. No,
Clinton and G
been horrible.
Looks great for Clinton G. Looked great for a couple of games, and then went off into the wilderness.
He was quality, like. Yeah, no, you seem to have changed your transfer approach recently as well, which kind of goes into what you want to talk about with Levy, because I mean, I don't know him personally, but from what we saw in the documentary, I'd like to know him personally, but from what we saw in the documentary, he seems quite a good person and actually really cares about the club, which isn't what he's really made out to be in the papers or even into some parts of the fan base.
I think the problem is Levy's the face of it, and it's ultimately not his call in dealing with transfers. He only owns a stake of the club.
Yeah.
The people that actually own the football club is Enoch.
Yeah.
And a guy called Joe Lewis. He's the one that ultimately calls the shots. And, well, the guy's in his 80s. He lives in the Caribbean. So, obviously, he's not going to be that wholly invested in Tottenham.
No. So, Levy is essentially not your owner, but he's the big dog at Tottenham, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think even the way he's approached the media recently, it seems more positive. I feel like Spurs have got now. You were kind of Bale come alive the first time, and you were going up, you dipped, and then last couple of seasons on the Poch, you were skyrocketing. You've just plummeted this last season, but you think maybe you're back on track?
It's too early to say, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the signs were there that we were going to dip from, well, probably the last part of the 2018-19 season.
Yeah.
Because Pochettino came out and said, we need to rebuild. And you could see that a lot of those players are getting to the end of their cycle. Danny Rose was one of them. Jan Vertonghen he was brilliant that season, but how long was that going to last for? Because he was in his 30s.
Well, you've seen with Alderweireld as well this season. He was amazing last couple of seasons. But this season, I mean, as we're recording, we've seen 2 games in the Premier League, which isn't a lot to judge. But he's not looked amazing, even post-lockdown, really, is he?
Yeah, but then again, you've got to look at his partners as well. I think he's a lot better with Davinson Sanchez than he is with Dyer.
Yeah, I think
for what Toby lacks in pace, Sanchez makes up for. Whereas Dyer, he's like a wardrobe with feet. He's not really going anywhere quickly, is he?
No. And I think it's been interesting to watch Dyer and Dyer and Sanchez together, because they've not actually looked that bad. To be honest, like they've looked a bit. They've not had enough time to build that partnership up, but I don't know. I could see him maybe forging a decent partnership there. Or do you think it's not going to work?
No, I don't think so at all.
Oh dear. Well, that wasn't the reaction I was hoping. But so we'll move into Bragulion, because it's another big signing, huge signing. Because I think we did touch on it, didn't we, last episode, and it was kind of going through
breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news, and I wasn't too happy about that. But now we know more details about the transfers. I'm personally, from a United point of view, I'm quite happy we didn't get him.
Really?
Not because of the player, because I think the player is outstanding, and I think he's going to be a really good player. But you only make £4 million profit.
Or if Real Madrid activate a buyback clause.
And if he becomes one of the best left backs in the world, you're screwed.
Yeah, but then the player's got to want to leave as well.
They always do for Madrid, don't they? They always do.
I don't know. He's seen how Bale was treated firsthand, so he might go, thanks, but no thanks.
And fight for a 5th place again, yeah?
Yeah, but I'm going to touch on the reaction at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But how is it that Gareth Bale was won 4 Champions Leagues, 2 La Ligas, Copa del Rey's, World Club Championships, got trophies coming out of his ears, but he gets booed and horribly mistreated by the fans there and the management. But yet he comes back to Tottenham, where he's only really won the League Cup in 2008, and he's worshipped like a god.
Yeah.
It just shows the difference in mentality between the sets of fans, really.
Yeah, and I think it's hard, isn't it? Because I saw Jonathan Barnett, his agent, come out today and say they should worship the ground Bale walks on. This being the Madrid fans, because of what he's done for but for what he's done for the club, he's kind of got the right point, essentially.
Yeah,
not probably the right wording, but
not worship the ground he walks, but appreciate what he's done.
Yeah,
given that 2 of those finals, he had a direct impact.
He was the reason they won 2 of the finals.
Yeah, one of them, he made it 2-1 in extra time. The other one, he scored 2 goals against Liverpool.
Exactly. So, I don't know. But then you've also got the argument of the way the player acted, like with the whole sleeping on the bench, and that's stuff we expect to see from Ozil. Like, not Gareth Bale. And it's not a shot at Arsenal, because I have no problem with Arsenal. But you shouldn't, you're on live TV and you're a professional athlete, you shouldn't really be. If you've got something with the board, you need to do it privately, not on TV going like that.
Yeah, but then again, he's been mistreated at that club for how many years as well?
Yeah,
I
do agree.
Really, it was always going to happen. I don't agree with it. I agree with you. He should have been professional, but I can understand his reactions.
Yeah, no, 100%. He's done so much, and he's not Ronaldo, and the way they've won them trophies, he's up there with how many trophies Ronaldo's won there with Madrid.
Yeah, that's mad to think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So it's hard. I'm from a Premier League point of view, I'm really excited to see Gareth Bale this year, but we'll see.
I think for neutrals, it will be interesting for them. For us, it's exciting because
$300,000 a week. I can't believe
coming back.
This is the one thing I don't get about this deal. How has he sanctioned $300,000 a week for him? Isn't he injured for the first month?
It's 200. It's $200,000 a week.
But isn't he got a knee injury?
300 is all I think the 300 is all bonuses and stuff.
Yeah, but hasn't he come back from Wales injured?
Yeah,
or was that just paper
he's
talk?
out. No, he's injured. He's injured until October, I think.
So you're paying him the best part of nearly £2 million before he's really even kicked a ball.
Yeah, but it's a risk.
Do you not think it's a bit ludicrous,
isn't it? It is, but yet again, it's a risk we're going to have to take. I imagine all the parties involved would have looked at the situation and gone, right, will it be worth us taking a punt on him if he's injured for the first month or so?
Mm. Yeah, and I think one last question I will ask about Gareth Bale before we just turn into a Gareth Bale episode is, do you think Mourinho will get the best out of him? And do you think he was a Mourinho signing?
He wanted him at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I mean. He
answers the
wanted him
second
before,
question,
didn't he?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he'd be a Mourinho signing. He wanted to sign him at Real Madrid, but
Yeah.
obviously he didn't get the time he wanted and was sacked literally just before Gareth Bale signed for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I do think Mourinho will get the best out of him because he can motivate players.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it in the documentary, haven't we?
Yeah. But I suppose the problem is with Mourinho anyway, it's trying to motivate the players with the wrong attitudes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't see Gareth Bale as that kind of person, so I think he will get the best out of him.
Well, I think if Mourinho buys him a nice 5-iron, then he'll be all right. But we'll see.
Take him to Top Golf.
Yeah. But moving on to your outs, Dele Alli. Big rumour that he's going out.
On loan to PSG.
How do you feel about that?
I'm not so sure. I mean,
especially with
on the one hand,
your
I think
rumoured replacement as well.
Oh, God. Jesse Lingard's just an older Dele Alli, really. He's just got 5 years on him, that's all.
Yeah.
I think the loan to PSG will do him good. Maybe the change of scenery might help him recapture some form.
Yeah,
because he's been at Tottenham for best part of 5 years now. Going to be 6 if he stays. So, yeah, that might give his career a kickstart again.
I think it's a shame because when he first burst onto the scene, we were like, "Wow, who's this guy?" And he's just kind of faded out a bit, isn't he? Almost like Lingard.
Yeah, but
he's burst onto the scene and then kind of just gone.
Yeah, I suppose that's the danger when you've got a young player that comes into a Premier League team at such an early stage in his career. Like they just burn out early.
Yeah. Do you think he will recapture that form? Or do you think he's going to be another Jesse Lingard where he just can't? There's a good player there, and we all know there's a good player there, but just can't really seem to recapture it.
Depends on attitude.
Yeah.
It really depends on attitude. If he realises, I'm off form, I need to recapture my form somehow and works on it, I think he will recapture it. But if he's just blasé about it, then he's just going to continue going down the pecking order.
Yeah. Okay. So we touched on Levy. I might touch on him again in a second. But just kind of, I know we've kind of already done it, but your Premier League prediction, obviously you said 4th, didn't you? 5th, that was it. 5th. Do you think, obviously now with the signings you've made and the potential ins and outs that are going to, say the Lingard one happens and the Alli one happens because they seem to be the biggest ones in the press right now, don't they? Say they happen, do you think maybe you could make Man United look over their shoulder and worry, or?
At the minute, no.
Do you still think you're going to finish 5th? And
I still think it will be 5th at the minute.
Yeah.
At the minute, no, but things can change.
Yeah, of course.
It's like if we do get a backup striker,
and
we do get another centre back, because that's another position we're looking at. We've got a Korean centre back who's got links with Son that might be coming in, or we've got Ruben Diaz from Benfica that we're looking at.
United have been linked with him under Mourinho. He seems to be a very Mourinho player, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Looks
typical good. European centre-half, really. Technically good.
Kind of reminds me a bit like Vidic. He just doesn't take no shit. Just looks like he's going to put his head on everything, doesn't he? But no, I think he'd be a good signing for you.
Vidic in the
so would I as well. Oh, we've got a Vidic, to be honest. We have Harry Maguire.
Alongside Toby.
Oh, we've got you back. You froze. Well, we've got you back. But all right. So you just think 5th is as good as it's going to get? Do you think there's any scenario where you can get 4th with a few more signings, or do you think 5th is fifth is reasonable this season.
If we get a few more signings, so if we get a backup striker for Kane, which, well, we've been calling out for the best part of like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So a backup striker for Kane, another centre half, and maybe a creative midfielder.
Yeah.
Then, I think we will be able to push for that top 4. But without those, no, I think fifth is honestly the best that we can do.
Okay. And that's coming from a Tottenham fan that really wants you to win the league this season. But I was thinking about this.
Yeah, we need to learn to walk before we can run.
Yeah. I was thinking about this because I knew I was going to ask you this earlier. I just think, regardless of what United, Chelsea, and the others do in this window, I do think you're going to be a lot closer than most people think to the top 4, and I think it may come down to the last couple of games.
I hope you're right.
I just think I'm against Gareth Bale more for the economical reasons and more future planning reasons, shall we say. But Mourinho does like his stars who are made and ready. He doesn't want to really develop people, does he? So no. I just think this is your season to end this trophyless run. But we'll see.
I mean, I'll take the League Cup at the minute. Just something to get a winning mentality.
Yeah.
Because when Mourinho first came in, he came in at Chelsea, and the first trophy they won was the League Cup, and then they went on to win the Premier League.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, he got Abramovich, though, so it's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, but I think Tottenham aren't poor.
No, you're not poor. You got them big repayment loans, haven't you? I think I read earlier you've got the biggest repayment loan structure in Premier League, haven't you? Right now.
Yeah, it's for the stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously it's because of the stadium, but do you think it's still going to be hard to kind of not balance the books, but still spend big?
I think the amount of money that stadium's going to make, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
Do you think what the stadium's making will kind of just counteract the reloan payments?
Yeah. So we've got that contract with the NFL.
Yeah.
We've got, I think, rugby union as well. That's playing a few games at the stadium, concerts.
Yeah.
And then potentially maybe international, get like what they hold at the Emirates, where it's like Brazil against Argentina.
Yeah. Yeah. Which you can do because it's in London and it's big enough to host an international game, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we spoke about Levy and how he kind of rules with an iron fist, but he's changed and kind of seems to be more open to the project of Tottenham doing well. And before we went on air, you said you wanted to talk about the recent history of Tottenham.
Yes. Well, but 2018-19 season, really.
Yeah.
Because Poch did say that we needed a rebuild, and admittedly, we got very, very lucky in terms of the Champions League.
Yeah, I think you had a bit of VAR.
It was some of the best nights
there.
I've ever had, but I will still fully admit we got lucky.
Yeah. You need a bit of luck, though.
And yeah, you do. With anything in life, you do need luck to get success.
Yeah.
But you could see at the start of last season that final defeat affected everybody, and it was just all downhill from there, really.
Yeah, you kind of never really bounced back from that, did you?
I suppose it's a very hard thing to bounce back from. I mean, Liverpool did it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're not Liverpool.
Fish, aren't they? They're run by a big, scary German. But yeah, no, I get it. I think going back as far as when you first sold Bale, the transfer has just been. I'm just going to touch on transfer. It's going to be a bit more transfery, but out of them 27 transfers, and I'm not going to claim to know everyone you signed.
Yeah.
How many of them are even still at the club? Like from the Gareth Bale money, well, not the Gareth Bale money, but a couple of seasons after that, when you were still transitioning, shall we say? And two, how many of them transfers have actually been a success?
Of the 27?
Yeah.
Well, Toby Alderweireld, he's a success.
Yeah.
Christian Eriksen was a success.
Oh, yeah. Massive.
With Eric Lamela, the jury's still out on him.
Yeah, I just don't like him, but that's
on
just
the
my
one
agenda.
On the one hand, he can pull some brilliant performances in. He'll do the dirty stuff if he needs to as well. He'll roll his sleeves up and put in the tackles. But he wasn't signed to do that. He was signed to be a direct replacement for Bale.
Which is never going to happen.
No.
Bale's replaced
It's a strange
Bale.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, Son's a success.
Oh, massive success.
Son was a massive success. Musa Sissoko is another one that's a bit.
I think
jury's
he's done
out.
well, and he's a very Mourinho player. He's that big engine in midfield, which Mourinho really loves.
He's recovered his Spurs career brilliantly.
Yeah,
because in the first season he was, well, if he'd have left, nobody would have batted an eyelid.
Really not.
But he's turned his Spurs career around brilliantly.
He's become more of an integral part of that team, isn't he?
Yeah, when it comes to transitions, he's so important because he drives the ball forward. Much like Moussa Dembele, it's so hard to tackle him.
Yeah,
but obviously he hasn't got the technical ability that Moussa Dembele did. So, you know.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll go with. I mean, I'd probably say about 25% of them have been successes.
Yeah, Dyer's one.
Yeah. Yeah, Dyer. I think Jury's still out on Dyer as well. He's had his highs, his lows.
He's had his moments.
Yeah, fighting fans.
Yeah. Like kicking the shit out of players. Bitch at Stamford Bridge.
Oh, yeah. That was funny to watch. But, yeah. Do you think maybe Spurs are being a bit more careful with their transfers these days on who they want to bring in and making sure the recruitment's right?
I think Mourinho's got more control than any other manager has had in the past. Like, I think under Pochettino, he was basically just given players like, right, well, you wanted a winger, we've got Clinton and G, we've got Nkudu. You wanted the striker, we've got Vincent Janssen for you, or we've got Fernando Llorente. He was a success, I suppose.
Yeah, he was a good backup. He knew his role and he played his role well. And he had quite a big part in your Champions League run, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Stages.
The Hippo Llorente.
Exactly. So
that is still one of the best games I've ever been to.
Oh God, let's not relive that. Should we come out DVD at the Spurs shop somewhere?
If I could bottle my feeling at full time and sell it, oh my God, I'd be a billionaire. But yeah, Llorente was a fantastic signing.
Yeah, and you almost re-signed him last January.
Oh. Yeah, we were getting quite desperate at that point.
I mean, you could have had a Garlo.
Yeah, but he wanted to go Man United, being a United fan and whatnot.
Mate, I think they just lost him on a tour, and he didn't have it. He's just somehow ended up on the pitch. Like, I don't know what's happened there. But
he's had his moments for United.
Yeah, he has, and I think he's amazing. And he needs a statue outside the ground. I just think he's a legend. I love him. But
oh God,
I'll save my Garlo love for another video. I could talk about him for hours. But yeah,
the Garlo pod.
Oh mate, don't tempt me. Do not tempt me. Do not tempt me right now. I'll replace my co-host Nathan with a Garlo. That's it, mate. You're gone. Sorry. But
that's all right. I understand.
So do I.
But yeah, Poch didn't have much control of his transfers. AVB probably didn't.
Yeah.
And Harry Redknapp definitely didn't. The only one really that I think Harry Redknapp had. Actually, no, tell a lie. I think it was 50-50 with him because he signed Jermaine Defoe, Peter Crouch, Nico Cranshaw, Rafael van der Vaart.
Good players.
Yeah. And obviously they're integral to one, getting in the Champions League and getting to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And
kind of solidified your big club status, didn't he? Kind of took you from that mid-table to, well, not mid-table, but
No, it was mid-table. It was mid-table.
Yeah, mid-table. He took you from that mid-table club to a big club. He's done a Leicester with you, isn't he? Essentially, they've kind of solidified themselves as a bigger club. Probably a bit bigger.
Not to that degree, but kind of.
Yeah.
Because we'd only really finished 5th twice before that under Martin Jol. Got into the UEFA Cup, and that was our first European tournament. It's like 95 or 96 or something like that for a while. But those 2 seasons were like a flash in the pan, and then we were back to mid-table again. So, yeah, it boosted us up into a...
when you finish mid-table this season...
European position.
When you finish mid-table this season, we're going to have a fun podcast. And I'm going to let all the Arsenal guests on.
Well, that's not happening, so...
Yeah, we'll get... James is going to come on, mate. He's going to have a whale of a time with you.
I know, he's been telling me. I look forward to it very much.
I don't. I do not. But, yeah. What was the other point we were going to cover? There was one more point, wasn't there? Oh, no, it was a really big one. We've done this live on air. We've forgotten.
Wasn't transfers. We've done that.
We basically just covered transfers. Done Levy.
Yeah. Done Levy.
Done
Stadium.
Your history.
Yeah.
Touch on that.
To a degree. Pardon?
Touch on that more, but you've touched on it. Was that it? Is that your points done?
I'm trying to think. I suppose.
I think that's our points done. Well, that wasn't an abrupt ending because we were going for a shorter video. But yeah.
Yeah.
I thought our outro would have been a bit smoother than that, but hey ho.
I mean, if we were doing shit, I probably would have had way more points.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that was our outro, really.
Yeah. Damn you for beating Southampton.
Yeah. I mean, go on then. Before we go then, we can touch on the Southampton game. We kind of briefly did, but how was it for you?
It was a funny one.
I know you won 5-1, which obviously 5-2, sorry, and it looks convincing.
It really was.
Do you think you really kicked on against Everton? Obviously because you had a bad display. Do you think you've really kicked on, or?
In the second half, yes, but in the first half, it was more of the same.
Yeah.
Because Southampton took the lead, we looked flat. It really didn't look like creating anything, and then Ndombele gets the ball in the midfield, and we got up the other end and scored just before half time. If we don't get that goal, we lose that game.
You think?
And then momentum just switched.
I mean, this is just my bad.
We're in the ascendancy. We're in the ascendancy. Southampton are down in the dumps going, how the fuck have we gone in 1-1?
Yeah.
It was pretty much all them. I mean, Kane had 2 disallowed for offside, but, you know, it is what it is. And then Son and Kane both exploited gaps at in Southampton's defence.
Yeah.
I mean, the penalty that Southampton got should never have been a penalty, but that's more down to the rules than, you know, the referee making a mistake.
Yeah.
Where I can't remember who the Southampton player was, but he tried to pass the ball on the floor. It deflected off of Harry Winks' foot onto the arm of Doherty. Couldn't really do anything about it, but because of the rule they've got in place,
still the one against Palace, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they need to change that rule.
Yeah, it was a bit unfair, but hey ho, if Tottenham had got given that penalty, we wouldn't be complaining, would we? Or you wouldn't be complaining, would you?
Exactly. It's the hypocrisy of the football fan.
All right. So, just to wrap up there then, we want to say thank you to all 74 of you that have, it's just been mad. We uploaded 5 days ago. And yeah, 5 days later, we got 74, 75 subs, as it's just ticked over to. So that's amazing. We can't thank you enough for that. So here's some more good content and loads more. If you've got any comments.
Cutting in and out.
Yeah, I know. This outro is the second time we tried to do an outro, but I'll just talk for you, Nathan, basically. I'm just going to talk for you. Nope, still not there.
Yeah, you froze.
That's
better.
There we go. Right, we're back. We just thank you so much for all your subscriptions and likes over this last 5 days. And yeah, there's going to be loads of content coming. We've got a couple of series planned. If you've got any comments, suggestions, please leave them down below. We will reply. And yeah, Nathan, you got anything to add?
There will be guests. There will be guests coming on, so we'll
Didn't know when we were
discussing a wide range of football, not just the Premier League, Spurs and United.
Yeah, and I think we've even got some guests from different leagues, haven't we? I think he's gone again.
Different, yeah.
No,
potentially different countries.
Yeah. So, well, I didn't think we were announcing
potentially
that
different countries as well.
But yeah, we're going to have some different guests. Maybe try and get some sort of schedule going with maybe we'll just do one with us and one with guests, but we'll kind of figure that out as it goes, really. I think we're just going to kind of cut it there, really, because I think Nathan's gone again. He's frozen on my screen. So, yeah, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. Here's the grind to 100. Yeah, road to 100.
Yay.